Hello, welcome to another episode of Crazy Fun Facts here on Live Life Well TV. If we haven't met before, this is Robert Landau, Live Life Well TV host. This episode of Crazy Fun Facts, we will look at some crazy trivia concerning the incredible world of beer. So get your stein ready. We'll be right back. Before we go any further, we would like to acknowledge two websites. The first one is Golden, and then the rest is spelled CARERS.com, and also facts.net. So, you like beer? Let me tell you something. I went to college in Luxembourg in Europe, and Luxembourg brews its own beer. And I went to college in one of the towns where they do that. So after class every day, a number of us students would go to the local pub and drink Luxembourgish beer. It was so wonderful. It was fresh. It was cold. Oh my. I drank so much beer during that freshman year in Luxembourg. I really don't have too much now. I think I got my fill. But without any further ado, here are some crazy fun facts about beer. Beer actually dates back, get this, to 5,000 BC. Think about that for a minute. 5,000 BC, that's even more beer than I drank as a freshman in Luxembourg. Beer is one of the oldest beverages in the world. Western Iran has evidence of fermentation as early as 3,500 BC. Western Iran shows the earliest evidence of actual beer making. Chemical tests of old pottery jars suggest that beer was produced as early as, we said, 3,500 BC. The first brewers in Egypt, for example, were women. In ancient Egypt, women would brew beer as an offering to the gods. Aside from offerings, beer was also considered a feminine drink then, while men traditionally had wine. Interesting. Around the world, get this, humans consume over 50 billion gallons of beer every year. Far more beer than I drank as a freshman in Luxembourg. Beer is the most widely consumed alcoholic drink on planet Earth. Budweiser is the world's most famous beer. Beer was only legalized in Iceland in 1989. Beer was not considered an alcoholic beverage until 1921 at large. Until 1970, table beer, 3% alcohol and full of flavor, was served in school cafeterias. There is a brewery in Germany that's almost 1,000 years old. It's been in continuous operation since the year 1040. Wow. In Finland, at the wife carrying world championships, yes, you heard it right. This is crazy fun facts, you know. The wife carrying world championships. The first prize is the wife's weight in beer. Oh my. In Africa, the beer brand Raha, R-A-H-A, is made from bananas. There is a temple in Thailand, get this, constructed with 1 million bottles of Heineken as well as local bottles. Nigerians drink more Guinness beer than the Irish. In Argentina, political parties have their own brands of beer. See, I think Washington needs an overhaul, don't you? In the 13th century, some people in Norway would baptize their children with beer. McDonald's restaurant chain serves beer in France, Germany, Austria, and Spain. The Scottish beer by the name of Snake Venom is the strongest beer in the world, having 67% alcohol instead of the usual 5% found in other beers. In English pubs, ale was ordered by pints and quarts. So when customers got unruly, the bartender would often yell, "Hey, mind your pints and quarts and settle down." That is where the phrase "mind your P's and Q's" come from. So aren't you glad you tuned in now? Of course you are. Go get some beer from the fridge, for God's sake. While drinking a beer, it is advisable to tilt the glass and observe if the form adheres to the side. If it does, it is considered good quality beer by many people. You'll want to know what the world's most expensive beer costs. Are you ready? Get your credit card out. It costs $503,300. Yep, $503,300. Snake Venom holds the title for the strongest beer in the world, but it is not the world's most expensive beer. Instead, the world's most expensive beer to date is Alsop's Arctic Ale, ALLSOPP', Arctic Ale, retailing for, as we said, an astounding, absolutely amazing $503,300. The beer was brewed in 1875 for an Antarctic expedition, which makes it a collector's item. Although it's not for consumption anymore due to the long steeping period, over 50 different bidders from eBay fought for it. In Amsterdam, the government gives alcoholic people incentives. The alcoholic locals of Amsterdam earn a beer by cleaning the streets. For a while, for a whole day of work, for a while, the government gave them 5 cans of beer, cigarettes, and 11 euros. The Amsterdam government used this plan so that even an alcoholic person can be productive and help the country in little ways. Every year, Germany organizes the biggest beer festival in the world. Germany's, of course, Oktoberfest is the world's largest beer and wine festival and traveling fun fair. The country holds the event annually in Munich, with a 16 to 18 day folk festival running from mid or late September to the first Sunday in October. All in all, get this, around 6 million locals and tourists attend this gathering yearly. And to that end, I don't think this next one would surprise you. Germany collects over 1,000 tons of trash after Oktoberfest every year. As a result of the world's largest Volksfest or Oktoberfest, the country amasses over 1,000 tons of waste after the celebration. Their sponsors and the city government of Munich head the post-festival cleaning. Can you imagine cleaning up after all of that? The Czech Republic leads the world in terms of beer consumption per person, but China consumes the most beer as a whole. Not only does it boast the world's largest population, but China's annual consumption of beer averages at 46 billion liters, which is twice the amount of the US. So China consumes twice the amount of beer that we in the US do. Wow. I was a cruise director for many years. Some of you might know that. And I visited China with the ships many a year. And we would call often at the port of Qingdao. And that's where they make, is it Tsingtao, the port? And the beer is Qingdao, or the beer is Qingdao, and the port is Tsingtao. Anyway, I think you know what I'm talking about if you've heard of the beer, which you can get here in the States. But one of the most successful shore excursions, whenever we would call in that city, was a tour of the beer factory. And I went on it once. Great tour, very well done, very clean. Everything was wonderful. But of course, where do you think the tour ended? In the cafeteria, where you had bottomless servings of that beer. Wow. I had to help passengers on the bus every time I went on that tour. I couldn't drink anything because I know I needed to be there for them. The economy of the United States benefits from beer sales. In the United States, the beer industry plays a vital role in our economy. Every year, the country generates profits of over $100 billion from beer alone. The United States is home, of course, to the most popular beer brands. More than 7,000 breweries manufacture beers in the USA. The top three leading companies in the country are, do you know, what do you think? Top three? They are Anheuser-Busch from St. Louis, Missouri, Miller Coors from Chicago, Illinois, and Pabst Brewing Company from LA. California leads the United States with most breweries, with the most breweries. California is the biggest producer of beer in the USA with over 1,100 breweries. The Golden State has both microbreweries and larger industrial scale breweries in its portfolio, which is marketed locally, regionally, nationally, and of course, globally as well. Drinking stout could help fight cancer. What makes Guinness or stout unique from other beers happens to be its alleged overwhelming roasted flavor. The stout's flavor comes from the roasted barley from that has not been malted. It also stands out from other beers as the only drink associated with allegedly fighting cancer. According to a study, drinking stout with your meals helps fight free radicals, which occurs when the body starts to metabolize the food. There are several beer spas in the Czech Republic. For instance, the Chodovar Beer Spa in the Czech Republic offers a 20-minute bath in beer brewing ingredients. The company says that this method boosts blood circulation, opens up pores, softens the skin, and infuses the body with vitamins for their clients. Interesting. Would you visit a spa like that? I don't know if I would or not. Drinking beer allegedly also reduces the risk of kidney stones. While extreme intake of alcohol could put anyone at a greater risk for kidney stones, the moderate consumption of beer has shown to potentially prevent kidney stones. This study revealed that drinking beer moderately reduces the risk of developing kidney stones by as much as 40%. Beer can also allegedly lower the risk of coronary heart disease. At this point, it may sound like one of the beer facts that can't be true, like some of these others, but beer does have more medicinal effects. In the right amount or circumstances, beer is good for the heart and blood vessels due to its alcoholic content. For the average person, an intake of less than 30 Gs of alcohol per day lowers the risk of cardiovascular disease by 25% compared to non-drinkers. Who knew? And who knew that we only have two more crazy fun facts about beer? You have to admit, these have been some pretty interesting facts. Here's the second to last one for you in this episode. Beer drinkers are better thinkers at old age, it is said. According to research, men who are in their late 70s and 80s that have been boozing one alcoholic beverage per day tend to have a clearer thinking ability compared to non-drinkers, allegedly. And here's our last fact. This is interesting. Barack Obama brewed his own beer at the White House. Former President Barack Obama was the first president to ever brew a beer in the White House. According to an interview, he did it because of the transformation in beer culture in the last 15 years, where hundreds and hundreds of small breweries are booming all over the US. The former president introduced the practice to the White House to encourage everyone to brew their own beers. So, we encourage you to brew your own beer. And my goodness, all the alleged medicinal effects that goes along with it. What's not to love? Anyway, we hope you loved this episode of Crazy Fun Facts. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hope you had a good time. This has been Robert Landau, Live Life Well TV host.